Hey everybody, Dr. Jeff Riggenbaugh back here with you on another Tips Tuesday, where each Tuesday I bring you a tip, tool, or tidbit for dealing with the difficult people in your professional life or your personal life. And we are working through our series on top 10 tips for having a difficult conversation. And today we are at tip number 7 for having a difficult conversation, which has to do with knowing the other person's triggers and avoiding them. For instance, if you know that you're dealing with someone that's a little bit of a bully, if you followed my previous content that bullies get triggered by criticism. So if it's not your job to criticize them, if you don't have to, then don't. Some people just feel the need to jump in and argue when it's really not their place to do it. If you are in a role where it is your job to criticize somebody with sort of bully tendencies or narcissistic traits, that's the kind of thing I work with people on all the time. If you know that somebody is an overanalyzer, somebody with some of those perfectionistic tendencies, well, we want to go out of our way then to do things like, send the memo ahead of time and stick with the agenda, and don't make the last minute change to the itinerary, the company Christmas party or the spring retreat or whatever, because we know that these people value predictability, and anything out of that will trigger these folks. So that is one of the biggest tips that I can give you for having a difficult conversation, regardless of the type of difficult person that you're dealing with, is to know their triggers and avoid them as often as you can. Because many times, not always, again, there are times that we may need to deal with things in certain ways, but many times, what I found is high conflict situations could have been avoided if they were dealt with a little bit more intentionally by the other person when trying to communicate with the difficult person. So tip number 7, know the other person's triggers and do everything that you can to avoid them. If this tip was helpful, help me out, as well as add value to others by clicking subscribe, like, or sharing it with others who would benefit from the content as well. If you're interested in the entire webinar, click the link below. Or if you'd like me to come in and do some training with your organization on dealing with people more effectively, reducing burnout, more effective communication, I'd love to come in and do some work with your leadership team or your folks along those lines as well. If that's the case, shoot me an email at difficultpeople@jeffriggenbaugh.com, and I'd love to be in touch. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.